Are you able to see my screen? Can someone please confirm?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So actually, we are discussing about the performance testing life cycle. Okay. So as part of performance testing life cycle. So yesterday I have explained you about the POC. So POC ఏం చేస్తాం మనం as part of POC what we can do. Okay. Let me show you. Are you able to see the slide, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as part of PTLC, performance testing life cycle, so these and all are the steps we can follow in the real time to complete our activities. So being a performance tester, so my activities are, so I have to start from the POC and I can end at the report preparation or I can end at the recommendations. So that is my activity. Okay, day to day activity. In the interview, the people they will ask you what is your roles and responsibilities in the current project. So like that they will ask you in the interview. Or else what is your activities, daily activities, like that they will ask you. So whatever the question it may be, you need to explain about the performance testing life cycle. I have been involved in all the phases of performance test life cycle. That is from the POC to report preparation. I have been involved in all the phases. Okay, so then if he ask about explain POC, then explain the POC and all. Okay, so we are discussing from the beginning itself, from the beginning stage itself. Okay, so coming to POC briefly I will give and then I will jump on to the requirement gathering. So as part of POC what we will do, so we have to understand the application architecture completely. Okay, what is application architecture, what and all will be there. So application architecture is the high level document, so where you can see the transaction flow and all, how the request is moving. Okay, what and all components will be there, how many servers you are using. Okay, those thing details and all will be there in the architecture. Okay, so we need to go through that application architecture and we have to reach out to the development team and we need to ask so which technology they are using to develop the application. So which technology they are using, like C or Java, C++, Python, okay, .NET, which technology they are using to develop that particular application, we need to know. Okay, after knowing these things what we need to do, so we need to go through the application. So let us assume you are doing the POC on the, okay, so you are doing the POC on the Flipkart application. So you need to launch that particular application in the browser and you need to verify so what and all things will be there in that particular browser. Okay, what you can do. So using Flipkart, what and all things you can do. So those things and all we need to verify. Okay, so after verifying these and all things, what you will come to know, we will come to know about the critical business transactions. Okay, so we need to identify the critical business transactions from this application, or else simply what you can do, identify any one of the flow. Okay, I have launched the application just now. మనం ఏదైనా యూఆర్ఎల్ని ఇక్కడ flipkart.com అని ఇచ్చి, so just we are clicking on the enter button, so therefore we have seen the page. So this is called launching the page. Okay, so then I'm going to clicking on the mobile, so that is the next action. I'm going to click on the login, that is the next action. So like that, identify and do some operations on the application, like 3 to 4 operations is more than enough, like launching the application, clicking on the mobile, okay, clicking on the login, clicking on the my profile, like that any 3 to 4 actions are enough. So those 4 transactions what we need to do, we need to record it. So I will show you how you can record, how you can do the executions and all. So that is the next level things and all. Okay, as of now what you need to do, just remember what we can do those things. Okay, ఎలా చేయొచ్చు అనేది తెలుసుకోండి, ఎలా చేయాలి. Okay, which process we need to follow to achieve that. So coming sessions I will explain you. Okay, so yeah, so we need to identify one flow like launch, login, logout or launch. Okay, so login, clicking on the mobile. Okay, so clicking on the mobile feature and logout. So like that we need to identify any one flow. After identifying that, what we need to do, so you need to choose any 2 tools. Okay, in the performance testing, you know, in the market, so there are many tools like JMeter, Load Runner, Neo, so like that many tools are there. Okay, so many tools are there. Okay, so we need to identify any 2 tools from those. Okay, so you can choose JMeter and you can choose one commercial tool like Load Runner or Neo Load, and you can record those sections. Okay, so what we need to do, whatever you have been performed so far on the browser, like launching the application, clicking on the mobile, login, log out. So the same scenario we need to record using the tool. So once you have been recorded, so what we can do, okay, so we need to execute that script. So execution, recording and all, you are not aware, you don't be panic about that. Okay, don't worry, I will show you how we can do and all. This is the complete theory area which you need to concentrate and which you need to buy hard the things from your end. Okay, so don't worry about that. Okay, I'll take care about you and all. Okay, so just follow my instructions so that you can get the subject and all. Don't think beyond that. Okay, so yeah, once you have been recorded that and you have been executed that, you can get the report. Okay, you can get the report from the JMeter and also you can get the report from the load runner. So what we are doing here means, so we are checking the compatibility of the application. So manam, so using load runner we are able to execute the test or not, using JMeter we are able to record the script and execute the script or not. So these things we need to identify. So if you have identified, so JMeter is compatible, yes, you can report with the client. Okay, so we are the people who can work for the client. Okay, so we need to report this information to the client saying that, so client, I can use the JMeter for your application. Why? Because JMeter is compatible to test your application. Okay, so load runner is not compatible to test your application. So therefore, so I'm explaining you that I'm going to use a JMeter for your project for the testing purpose. Okay, so like that you can intimate. So let us assume your JMeter is not supported. Okay, while recording that particular application, it is not recording. So then what you can do, so you can say like, so JMeter is not supporting, so using load runner we are able to record it. So then the client will allow you to use load runner for testing. Okay, let us assume two are compatible to test that particular application. Okay, so using load runner you are able to do all the things like scripting. Okay, so execution and all you can able to do, and using JMeter also you are able to do. So then what we need to do, we need to showcase that information with the client. Showcase nothing but displaying the information with the client. Okay, so a client, so JMeter is able to support and load runner is also able to support. So now what I can do, ఓకే, ఏది తీసుకోవాలి, సో వాట్ టూల్ ఐ కెన్ ఫైనలైజ్ నౌ టు టెస్ట్ యువర్ అప్లికేషన్. వై? బికాస్ వీఆర్ ద సర్వీస్ ప్రొవైడర్. ఓకే, ఐఎమ్ ప్రొవైడింగ్ ద సర్వీస్ టు ద క్లయింట్ అండ్ క్లయింట్ ఈస్ ద ఓనర్. ఓకే, సో క్లయింట్ హ్యాస్ టు గివ్ ద గో సింబల్ ఆన్ ద టూల్. therefore we are intimating to the client about the tools. Okay, JMeter is able to support, and this one the load runner is also supporting to test your application. So then, so who can finalize the thing? So your client can finalize the thing. Okay, so the client, he will ask you what is the difference between those two tools. You are telling that those two tools are supporting, then what is the difference between those two tools? Okay, then you need to explain the difference between the two tools. Okay, so JMeter is a open source testing tool, so you can apply any number of users, you can generate any number of users, so using JMeter. Coming to load runner is a commercial tool that is free for only 50 users. If you are going beyond 50 users, అంటే 50 యూజర్ల కన్నా ఎక్కువ లోడ్ అప్లై చేస్తున్నాము అంటే, ఎస్, యూ నీడ్ టు గో for the license. Okay, you need to buy that particular tool and you need to get the license for that. Okay, so then only you can generate the users. So if not, you cannot generate the users. So this is the difference you need to explain to the client. Okay, so the client, yes, he is able to invest the money on the users. Okay, you need to buy the users, so therefore you need to invest some amount of money to purchase that particular users. If the client is ready, he will go with the load runner. If the client is not ready to invest the money, so then he will suggest to use the JMeter. Okay, so this is the POC what we will do in real time. Okay, so what is the outcome of the POC? So simply I can say that, so we can decide which tool we can use for testing going forward. Okay, ఏ టూల్ వాడాలి టెస్టింగ్కి, సో దట్ యూ కెన్ డిసైడ్. ఓకే, సో ఇన్ ద POC. So actually in the real time you do not get a chance to work on the POC. So why? Because so directly the client, he will come and he will approach you by saying that, so you can use the JMeter to test my application, or you can use load runner to test my application. So like that directly they will come and they will approach you. So at that time there is no POC in the life cycle. Okay, so there is no POC in the life cycle. Directly you can start your activities from the requirement gathering phase. Okay, so there is no POC at that moment. And one more thing, whenever you are working on the bigger organizations like MNCs and all, at the time you do not get a chance to work on the POC. So why? Because the people who ever having the experience like more than 5 years, more than 6 years experience, okay, like your lead, your manager and all, so they can do the POC on the application, okay, and they can finalize the tool, which tool we can use the testing of the client application, okay, so they can finalize the things and all, okay, so we no need to worry, but the thing is that you should know about the POC as well, so that's why I have been explained what is POC, what we will do in the POC, okay. So once the POC is done, so you will come to know so which tool we can use to test the client application, okay. So let us assume you have finalized the JMeter in this phase, okay. So going forward we will use the JMeter to test the client application, okay. So once the POC is done, then we need to jumping on to the requirement gathering phase, okay. Requirement gathering phase is, so in this phase what we can do, what we will do ante, so as part of requirement gathering, so we need to reach out to the client, or we need to reach out to the business analyst, or we can reach out to the domain expert, and we have to gather the requirements like critical business transactions. Yesterday I have been listed you, okay. So critical business transactions we need to gather, response times we need to gather, what is the expected load we need to apply on the application, that we need to gather, how many types of testings we need to perform on the application, those we need to gather. So TPS, how many transactions per second we need to achieve, so that you need to gather, and hardware statistics like CPU ఎంత ఉండాలి, memory how much it will be there, okay, disk how much, what is the maximum disk usage I can allow. So these things and all you need to gather from the client or from the business analyst, okay. This is very important question in the interview. So what and all requirements you can gather from the client, so straight question they will ask you in the interview, okay. So you are in a position to explain these many things, these 6, okay, parameters, ఓకే. సో మీరు టక్క 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 మీరు చెప్పేటట్లు ఉండాలి, ఓకే. సో రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ అనగానే ఎస్ వీ కెన్ గ్యాదర్ ద రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ లైక్, సో సిబిటి క్రిటికల్ బిజినెస్ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్స్, రెస్పాన్స్ టైమ్స్ ఫర్ ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ transaction, expected load on the application, types of testings to be performed on the application, okay. So how much TPS we need to achieve, hardware threshold statistics like CPU, memory disk. So these many things we can gather from the client or from the business analyst అని చెప్పాలి. So you need to explain these many things, okay. So once you have gathered the requirement, so what we need to do, you need to put those requirement on a paper and you need to get it approved, okay. So why? Because why I need to get the approval, okay. So approval ఎందుకు తెచ్చుకోవాలి, so let us assume, so you are giving some amount of money to your friend or somebody else, okay. So you are writing one promissory note, right, by saying that, so I am giving so and so money to so and so person, okay, with so and so interest, like that you are putting those information on your paper and you are taking the signature from the borrow fellow, okay. ఎవరైతే డబ్బులు తీసుకుంటాడో వాళ్ళ దగ్గర మీరు సైన్ తీసుకొని you can keep that promissory note with you, okay. That is the proof, okay. So you have given the money to somebody else, who knows whether you have given to him or not, okay. So promissory note is the proof for that, okay. Like the similar way you have decided the requirements here, okay. So response time, these are all things you have been decided, who knows, okay. So tomorrow the client he will say like, hey, I have not given those requirements, how you have chosen, man, so like that he will ask you, okay. So therefore what we need to do, whatever the requirements you have been selected or you have been finalized, so those requirements you need to put on a paper and you need to send it for the approval, and you need to get the approval from the client, from the business team, and also from the managers as well, okay. So from on the paper means, so we do not use paper and all, so actually in the mail we can send a mail to all the people, okay. So in a mail we need to send like, so I have been gathered the requirements like below, okay. Response time for each and every transaction less than 1 second, okay. TPS I need to achieve 300, okay. Hardware threshold statistics 80%, okay. So like that whatever the statistics you have been received from the client, so those things we think so we need to put those information on a mail and we need to send one email to all the people including the client and including your internal team, okay. So మీ టీంలో ఎవడెవడు ఉంటాడో వాళ్ళందరికీ we can send an email, okay. So then So what they will do, your higher officials, they will approve you. Okay, on the top of that mail, so they will reply by saying that yes, approved. Okay, so that is called how you can take the approval. Okay, so on this requirement gathering. Okay, so like that we can gather the requirements. Okay, so coming to coming to scenarios in the requirement gathering, mainly we have three types of scenarios will be there. Okay, based on the scenario, the approach little bit it may vary. Okay, so the story is same. The story is you need to gather these many requirements you need to gather from the client. Okay, so the story, the approach is the difference for each and every scenario. Okay, see scenario 1. So scenario 1, in the interview the people they will ask you, okay, my application is a completely new application, or my application is a greenfield application. So greenfield application is nothing but it is a new application only. Okay, don't imagine something else. Okay, so it is a greenfield application and a new application, everything is same. Okay, so you can consider that as a new application only. Okay, so in the interview the people they will ask like, I have a new application. Okay, what and all things I can gather. Okay, to whom I need to approach to gather the requirements, like that they will ask you in the interview. Okay, important question this is. Okay, so requirements and all very important. Without asking the question on the interview, so I am sure so there is no interview at all. Okay, so there is no interview at all. Okay, so yeah, so coming to scenario 1, the application is a completely new application. So what is your approach to gather the requirement? Okay, so if the application is a completely new application, so therefore we are not aware anything, and also the client and the business analyst, business people also, they are not aware much about the application. So therefore, so we need to keep in touch with the business analyst, and also we need to keep in touch with the client. So why? Because they are also not having the confirmation about the requirements and all. Okay, so day to day it may change, who knows. So therefore we need to keep in touch with the business people, or we need to keep in touch with the client, and we need to gather the requirement. So what and all requirements you can gather from them? The same story you need to explain. So I can gather the CBTs. CBTs means critical business transactions. So response time for each and every transaction, expected load, so which I need to apply on the application, how many types of testings I need to perform on the application, so how much TPS I need to achieve, so what is the hardware threshold statistics, like CPU, memory, disk utilization. So these are all things I can gather from the client, or from the domain expert, or from the business analyst. So this is the story you need to explain with the interviewer in the interview. Very important question this one. Okay, in the interview the people they will ask you, my application is a new application. Okay, can you please tell me, so what is your approach to gather the requirement? So this is a straightforward question. Okay, you can expect in the interview. Okay, so you can tell like, my application is a new application. Okay, so therefore we are not aware about the requirements, and we are not clear. So therefore we need to reach out to the business analyst, or we need to reach out to the client. So why? Because those two are the owners. Okay, so the project owners. So therefore we need to reach out to them, and we need to collect the requirements, like critical business transactions, what is the response time for each and every transaction, what is the expected load I need to apply, what type of testings I need to perform on the application, how much TPS I need to get. Okay, what is the hardware threshold statistics. So these are all things I can gather. So that's all. Okay, so this is the way how you can explain the things in the interview. Okay, so the way how you are presenting the interview, okay, so it will give you the best impression on you. Okay, మీరు ఎలా చెప్పాలి, how you are explaining in the interview. So దాన్ని బట్టే the interviewer he will decide whether you are the suitable person or not. So therefore the know things that you have to know the things how you need to present that in the interview. Okay, repeat the things twice, thrice, 4 times, 5 times, like that, then only you can present that in the interview. If not, you cannot. So on the daily basis, so every day we need to go through the subject, so then only you can get the subject, and you can grab the information. Okay, you can grab the knowledge. Scenario 2, coming to scenario 2, application already in production. So if it is a new application, so there is no such type of application existing in the web. So nobody is not using that particular application. So that is the meaning of new application. Okay, so let us assume Facebook. Once upon a time there is no Facebook. So that time whenever they are developing that particular application, so that is the new application. Okay, coming to same application now, that application is already existing in now. That means application is already in production. So now you are going to test that particular application, Facebook now. Okay, so what is your approach? So we are getting right. So application already in production means already the people is using that particular application. So coming to examples of the applications which are already in production, your Amazon, your Flipkart, your Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, okay, Telegram, okay, SBI, okay, SBI, HDFC, Axis Bank. So whatever the things you are using now, you are able to access using your browser or using your mobile phone. So those and all applications, I can say that that application is already in production. Okay, so why we need to test that applications already in production? Already test చేసే కదా, already you have tested and you have given the sign off to deploy that in the production. Why we need to test it out? Okay, see, every day the users count is going to increase. Okay, so today who knows the Flipkart application can be used by 10,000 people, and tomorrow there might be a chance to increase to 11,000 or 20,000, who knows. So today is Saturday, tomorrow is a Sunday, week off. The people, many people, they will come and they will sit, they can spend some time on the mobile. So whenever they are operating the mobile under, they can use the Flipkart, Amazon, these and all. Okay, so the load on the applications, it may high. So therefore day to day what I can say, the usage is high. So therefore, so whenever the days are growing, so you should be tested your application thoroughly. And so they are going to give the new applications, right? So one new application is available, new version is available, you can download like that. The notifications are coming in our mobiles, right? Notifications వస్తుంటాయి. You can see WhatsApp. Okay, so మీరు ఓల్డ్ వర్షన్ వాడుతున్నారు అనుకోండి, you are using the old version. Okay, so at a particular point of time it will show like you are using older version, can you please download the latest version. So why the people are asking you to download the latest version and all? Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, so every time you should be updated, then only so you can use the you can get the service in the better way. So if not, you cannot get the better service. Therefore the people, they are asking you to upgrade your applications and all. Okay, either it is a Telegram or WhatsApp or Google Chrome or anything, any application it may be. Okay, so kabatti, so day to day, if the application is already in production also, that may be tested. Okay, or else I will give one more example here. So we all know, right, we are using WhatsApp. Okay, so before 1 year or 1.5 year, so there is no, okay, so there is no payment option in the WhatsApp. Okay, so I am not aware like how many of you know about that or not. Okay, so using WhatsApp also you can do payments and all. Okay, so before 1.5 year or 1 year, I'm not sure exactly, so there is no payment option in the WhatsApp. Okay, payment option. So now they have been introduced a new option in the WhatsApp. Okay, so therefore that particular application should be tested. Why? Because so you have added the new feature to your existing application. So therefore that particular application should be tested, and application should be measured, application performance should be measured. So therefore whatever the applications is there in the production, so those also should be tested by the performance of that particular application. So ఖచ్చితంగా టెస్ట్ చేయాలి. Okay, so now what is your approach to test these applications already in production? Okay, so the story is same, you need to gather these many things, but the approach it may vary. Okay, so application is already in production, so then what we need to do? Okay, so we need to get the production logs. So what is the production log? Okay, see, click on the next tab here, go to history and check over here. See, this is the history, you can see the history, right? So which things, what all things I have been accessed. Okay, you can see the history. Like the similar way, for each and every application there will be a history in the server. Okay, so for each and every application there is a server. For Facebook, separate server will be there. For WhatsApp, separate server will be there. For Twitter, separate server will be there. SBI, separate server will be there. JNTU, separate server will be there. So for each and every applications whatever we are using, so there is a separate server will be there. Okay, so in that server we can get the logs and all. Okay, let us assume you are working and we are discussing about the WhatsApp, right? So we can take the same example. So what we need to do, so we need to get the logs, production log or historical log. Okay, I can say like historical log. Okay, history log. historical log, so we need to gather, okay, so from that particular application. So to how to gather the historical log? So historical log can be captured by using Splunk tool. Okay, there is a separate team will be there. Okay, so those people, so they will capture the historical data and they will share you. Okay, so historical data ante enti అనేది మనం డిస్కస్ చేస్తున్నాం. Okay, so coming to historical data, okay, so you need to access your application server logs. Okay, so from that server logs we need to identify, so 1 year historical data. Okay, 1 year data we need to identify. So just now I have been showing you the history. Here you can see the history from almost 6 to 7 days. Okay, the history you are seeing here, like the history will be there. Okay, so the similar way the history will be there. Okay, so what you need to do? Okay, we need to identify. Okay, so we need to grab 1 year historical data. Okay, 1 year historical data we need to take. From that 1 year historical data, so what we need to do? We need to identify the peak month we need to identify. Okay, so peak month ఎందుకు ఐడెంటిఫై చేయాలి అంటే, అవుట్ ఆఫ్ 12 months, 1 year means there are 12 months will be there. So out of 12 months, so what we need to do? We need to identify the peak most month. Okay, so peak most month we need to identify. Okay, so January, Feb, okay, so March, April, like that. So January to December we do have 12 months. Okay, so 12 months lo usage, all the usage is not same. Okay, so in January, so there might be a chance to huge load, and in February the load it may decrease, who knows. Okay, so therefore we need to identify the peak month. Okay, let me put over here so that you can understand. Okay, so historical data, so from that historical data we need to capture 1 year historical data we need to capture. Okay, so year came on time, so for year, so months will be there, we need to capture peak month. Okay, so from the month what we need to do? So we can capture, so in a month there are 4 weeks will be there, so you need to find out peak week. So from the week, so what you need to do? So you need to capture what? Peak month low days will be there, right? So first you need to consider the days. Okay, so from the peak month we need to identify the peak day. So in a day, no, don't be confused, I'm going to see in a week. Okay, so here we need to put it out. Okay, so don't forget the hierarchy means year. So year ki month lu untai, so month ki week will be there, week lo days untai. Okay, I am following exactly correct, but I don't know why. Okay, sometimes I also going to confuse here. Okay, in a day, okay, so hours will be there. Okay, don't be confused. Okay, so this is the hierarchy. So year is the topmost one. So in a year we can see the month. So in a month we can see the weeks. In a week we can see the day. In a day we can have the hours. Okay, so this is the thing which we need to remember as part of historical data. So 1 year historical data we need to capture. Okay, from that 1 year historical data we need to identify the peak month, and from that peak month we need to identify the peak week. From the peak week we need to identify the peak day. From the peak day we need to identify the peak hour. ఎందుకండి ఇదంతా ఐడెంటిఫై చేయాలా నాకు? Okay, so why I need to identify the peak hour and all? What is the necessary? Okay, so let me give you a simple example over here so that you can understand. Okay, you all know we and all are using the Facebook applications or Flipkart application or Amazon application we are using. Okay, throughout the day we are not using Amazon or we are not using Flipkart or we are not using Facebook. Okay, see, whenever you do have the free time, at the time only you can access that particular applications, right? So you are not working like posting everything in your Facebook. Okay, you are not doing such kind of job here. So whenever you are having some free time, at the time only you are accessing that particular application. Okay, so therefore what you can do? So there will be a peak hour. Okay, so ఎప్పుడో ఒక టైం ఉంటుంది ఫ్రీ అవర్ టైం. Okay, either in the morning or in the afternoon or in the evening. So there will be a free time. Okay, there will be a peak time. Okay, so peak time means the people huge amount of cloud coming and falling. Okay, so on that time. Okay, ఆ టైంకి ఎక్కువ మంది వచ్చి యాక్సెస్ చేస్తున్నారు అని. సో therefore we need to identify the peak hour. Okay, so peak hour we need to identify, and we need to see how much load will be there in the peak hour. Okay, you no need to worry about that. You no need to take about the Splunk and all. Okay, no need to worry about that. So there is a separate team for the Splunk. Okay, Splunk and all can be used by the bigger organizations only. Okay, పెద్ద పెద్ద కంపెనీస్లో పెద్ద పెద్ద క్లయింట్స్కి వర్క్ చేసేటప్పుడే యూ కెన్ గెట్ ఏ ఛాన్స్ టు వర్క్ ఆన్ ద స్ప్లంక్ అండ్ ఆల్. అట్ ద టైమ్ దెర్ ఈజ్ ఎ సపరేట్ టీమ్ ఫర్ ద స్ప్లంక్. ఓకే, సో దే విల్ అనలైజ్ ద థింగ్స్ అండ్ దే విల్ షేర్ యూ ద డీటెయిల్స్. ఓకే, సో స్ప్లంక్లో ఏమేమి ఉంటాయి, ఓకే, స్ప్లంక్లో వాట్ అండ్ ఆల్ థింగ్స్ ఐ కెన్ సీ. వాడు ఏం షేర్ చేస్తాడు అంటే లెట్ మీ షో యూ. ఓకే, so they will share you like, so what and all things they will share you, let me show you here. Okay, so they will share you like total users. So total users in an hour, peak hour, let us assume like 55,000. Okay, so 55,000, this is the peak load. And response times, okay, so response times also they will share you. Okay, response times like 1 second. Okay, so like that they will share you. TPS also will be there, expected TPS also will be there in the Splunk. Okay, he will give like 400 transactions are happening. Okay, so like that they will give you. Okay, so like that the people they will give. These and all are the minimum requirements. Okay, these and all are the minimum things you can gather from the Splunk. Okay, so absolutely don't be confused. So trust me, there is a separate team for the Splunk. Okay, you do not get a chance to work on the Splunk and all. Okay, so trust me, believe me. Okay, so application already in production, what you can do, okay, you can use the Splunk. Okay, the people they will ask you, I mean to test you. Okay, how they can test you, వీడికి తెలుసా తెలీదా, how he can approach, to whom he need to approach, వీడికి తెలుసా తెలీదా. So that he want to know, that interviewer he want to know. So that's why they will ask you, application is already in production, so what is your approach. Okay, so if the application is already in production, so we need to get the historical data. Using Splunk we can get the historical data. From that historical data, so 1 year historical data, we need to identify the peak month. From the peak month we need to identify the peak week. From the peak week we can identify the peak day. From the peak day we can identify the peak hour. Okay, so from that peak hour, so we can get the details like how many number of users are accessing that particular user in that particular time. Okay, what is the response time for that particular request, and how much TPS we are getting. So these details we can get from the Splunk. Okay, the remaining details and all, so like CBTs you can get from the Splunk, response time you can get the Splunk, expected load you can get the Splunk. Okay, so types of testing, okay, TPS also you can get the from Splunk. Types of testing, hardware threshold statistics. So these two you can gather from the your client. Okay, this is the approach. So whenever your application is already in production, okay, so whenever the application is already in production, this is the way how you can gather the requirement. Okay, so just explain the thing whatever I have been mentioned over here, and that will be there already, that will be there in the your material as well. I have shared you the material as well. Please go through the theory. Okay, so coming to next scenario number 3, application is not in production. Okay, so there are 2 subcategories will be there in that scenario, 3.1 and 3.2. Okay, so what is 3.1 here? Application, if we have the competitor. Okay, so application ఏంటి, already competitor is there in the market. Okay, I want to prepare one application, so which is similar to Facebook. Okay, my application is I am going to build a application called Notebook. So this is the competition to Facebook. సో ఫేస్బుక్కి నేను కాంపిటీటర్ అవ్వాలనుకుంటున్నాను. సో దేర్ఫోర్ ఐ వాంట్ టు బిల్డ్ ఏ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ విచ్ ఈస్ సిమిలర్ టు ఓకే సో ఫేస్బుక్. సో దేర్ఫోర్ ఐఎమ్ కీపింగ్ దట్ యాజ్ ఎ నోట్బుక్ అప్లికేషన్. సో అట్ ద టైమ్ వాట్ ఐ కెన్ డూ, సో ఐ కెన్ టేక్ ద ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ రిలేటెడ్ టు ఫేస్బుక్. ఓకే, ఫేస్బుక్, how the application is working, how many pages will be there, okay, so how it look like, how many features will be there, what is the response time for each and every transaction. Let me show you. Okay, so we are going to work on the Facebook application. So therefore మనం నోట్బుక్ అప్లికేషన్ గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నాం. ఓకే, ఐ వాంట్ టు బిల్డ్ నోట్బుక్ అప్లికేషన్. ఓకే, సో నోట్బుక్ అప్లికేషన్, ఇట్ ఈస్ అ కాంపిటీటర్ ఆఫ్ ఫేస్బుక్. Okay, Facebook already will be there. Okay, will be there in the market. So therefore my competitor is a Facebook. So therefore I need to access the Facebook application. I am launching the Facebook application. So once you have been launched the Facebook application, See how much time it is taken you to take you to the login page. Login page రావడానికి how much time it is taken. Okay, so that you can see over here. Okay, so దాన్ని మనం మెజర్ చేయాలి. We need to measure it out. So after entering the username and password, how much time it is taking take you to the next page. How many pages will be there? Okay, where I can create the account. So is there any forget password or not? So like that, each and everything we need to look into, and we need to consider those parameters for our testing. Okay, so that is the scenario. Okay, whenever you have the competitor in the market. So simple ga cheppalante, so we can collect the statistics related to competitor. Okay, that's all. Response times, TPS. Okay, how many pages are there, how many page views are happening, how many users are going and taking the information, using that particular application. Okay, so those things and all. So what we can do, so we can grab the information from the competitor application. Okay, so that is the approach. Coming to final one, if we have the core business, so let us assume you do not have the competitor, you do not, that is not a application, new application. Okay, application not in production. So then here you can see, if we have the core business, what it mean if we have the core business. Okay, so let us assume you are selling one unique product. ఓకే, మీరు ఏం చేస్తున్నారు, యు ఆర్ సెల్లింగ్ వన్ యూనిక్ ప్రోడక్ట్. ఓకే, సో యూ హ్యావ్ ద కోర్ బిజినెస్ అట్ దట్ మూమెంట్. ఓకే, మీరు ఒక షాప్ ఉంది మీకు, యు ఆర్ ఓనింగ్ వన్ షాప్ అండ్ యు ఆర్ సెల్లింగ్ ద ప్రోడక్ట్స్ ఫ్రమ్ యువర్ షాప్. ఓకే, యు ఆర్ థింకింగ్ దట్ యువర్ బిజినెస్ ఈస్ టూ గుడ్ అండ్ యు ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు ఎక్స్పాండ్ యువర్ బిజినెస్. ఓకే, అండ్ యు ఆర్ ప్లానింగ్ టు సెల్ యువర్ బిజినెస్ ఫ్రమ్ ద ఆన్లైన్. So therefore at the time we can consider this as a, so that scenario as if we have the core business. Okay, so now we need to convert our core business into the online business. How you can convert? So that is the next question. Okay, so what we need to do, whenever we have the core business, we need to convert the core business into online business. Okay, so how you can convert it? So we need to reach out to the shop owner or shopkeeper. Okay, whoever will be there. So we need to go and we need to gather the information, like, so daily how many people they are coming. Okay, how many people, so they are coming to your store, how many are purchasing, how many are not purchasing. Okay, how many transactions are happening, what is the income. Okay, how many products you are selling, what type of products you are selling. So these information and all we need to get from the storekeeper. Okay, we need to visit the core business and we need to grab the information from them. Okay, so we need to gather the information, like, see, what is the response time, you can leave it, what is the CBT, you can leave it, expected load, so this you can find out. Okay, so how many users daily coming. Okay, how many users daily they are coming to your shop. Okay, so let us assume 100 people they are coming. At what time they are coming? So at the morning, there is a huge rush, or and in the afternoon there is a huge rush, or in the evening it will be high. When it will be high, so that we need to identify, that is the peak load, I can say. Okay, so whenever I'm explaining about the application already in production, we have been taken the peak hour, right? So like the similar way you need to identify the peak hour here. Okay, so మనం షాప్కీపర్ని ఐడెంటిఫై చేయాలి. షాప్కీపర్ని రీచ్ అయ్యి with the help of him we can identify the peak hour and all. Okay, so we can identify like number of users, we can identify how many transactions are happening per second. Okay, so this we can identify. Okay, the remaining and all we can reach out to the client and we can request from him. Okay, so CBTs, response times, types of testings. Okay, hardware threshold statistics, so those can be given by your client. Okay, so this is how you can gather the requirements, okay, in the real time. Okay, so these and all things you need to remember. So this is very very important thing in the interview. The people they will ask you about these 3 scenarios. Okay, so 3 scenarios adakabaina, so the people they will ask you about scenario 1 and scenario 2. Scenario 3 it may rare. Okay, so any doubt about this requirement gathering from anybody, so please let me know so that I can clear your doubt. Guys, I am audible? వినిపిస్తుందా?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so see, if you are having any doubt you can ask me. Okay, so I will clarify your doubt. Okay, No problem. It is a silly or it is a moderate or it is any doubt. You can ask me. Yeah. So silence I can consider as a no, and I can jump to the next
Explain, sir.
phase. Yeah.
Explain, sir. Yeah. Actually, in the scenario 3, what you were explaining, scenario 3.2,
Yeah.
actually,
Hmm.
in that, the client is having his business, he is going into online one.
Yes.
He won't be having application pre-built, no, sir. After building only, it will be tested, right?
Yes, actually, he is not having the application and all. He is having only physical store. So
Physical store, yeah, yeah, got it.
they are planning to build one application. So therefore, we need to gather the requirements related to that particular thing.
Okay, that is also a job of a tester for
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Performance tester. Like we need to gather
Performance.
the requirement. Whatever the things I am talking about here, so that is related to performance testing only. We are not
Okay,
talking about
okay,
the remaining and all.
okay,
Being a performance tester, we need to gather the requirement. Actually, in some scenario, okay, in
ah,
some companies, you do not get a chance to gather the requirement and all. So there is a
okay,
separate
okay,
team. Your manager, your lead, he will gather. Okay,
okay.
but in from our end also, we need to know everything, each and everything. Who knows? Tomorrow you can get a chance to work on it. So at that time
Yes,
you
yes.
don't tell like that. I don't know how to gather the requirement and all, right? So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
explaining each and everything.
So, sir, in scenario 3.2, if the application is newly built,
Hmm.
then that goes to the scenario 1, right? It is a new application.
No, scenario one, it is a completely new application. He is not having any idea on the application. From the scratch, he is building. Coming to
Okay,
3.2, already some of the, I mean, your aim will be there, your goal will be there. You need to sell some products, right? Already you have the
okay,
core business right now. Okay. So
okay,
you are trying to convert that core business into online. That is the difference.
okay, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah, sure, you can.
Scenario one is the new applicationer,
Hmm.
and scenario three is the retailer.
Hmm.
So both are same new user, sir. That is
Scenario 3, 3.2 you are asking.
okay. Yes, sir.
That's what just
Bo-
now conveyed with the aftab, right? So అప్లికేషన్ కొత్త అప్లికేషన్ అంటే సో నీకేమీ తెలియదు ఓకే యు ఆర్ నాట్
okay,
అవేర్
sir.
అబౌట్ ఎనీ అప్లికేషన్ ఎనీ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ అబౌట్ దట్ అప్లికేషన్ కమింగ్ టు
Okay,
3.2 యు ఆల్రెడీ నో ఇప్పుడు మీకు బట్టల షాప్ ఉంది ఓకే మీకు హ్యూజ్ రష్ ఉంది ఓకే మీరు ఏం చేయాలి యు ఆర్
okay,
ట్రయింగ్ టు సెల్ దోస్ థింగ్స్ ఇన్ ఆన్లైన్ అప్పుడు నీది ఆల్రెడీ
okay,
ఉంది
sir.
కదా నీ మోటో ఉంది నువ్వు ఏం చేయాలనేది రిక్వైర్మెంట్ కూడా ఉంది సో
Okay,
దట్
sir.
ఈస్ రిలేటెడ్ టు 3.2.
Okay, 3.3, sir.
3.3, there is no 3.3 here, Raja. So you have been seen
Okay,
3.3.
three is there. No, scenario one, two, three.
Yeah, only 3 is there. One, 2, 3. Where is
Okay,
3?
okay, sir. So
Okay, don't be
scenario
confused.
one.
Okay, fine.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So go through the material and you can get the best knowledge. Okay, already I have shared you the material with you. Please go through the
Okay, sir.
material on daily basis. This is not only for
Okay,
Raja, so this is for
okay,
everybody. Okay, please go through the material on daily basis so that you can get the good knowledge on the subject. Okay,
okay,
so
sir.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Please go on the mute, Raja, so that I can go to next. Yeah. So next one. So once the requirement is completed, so what we need to do, you need to go for the plan. Okay, there will be a blueprint. Okay, ఏం చేయాలనుకుంటున్నాం. So let us assume I'll talk some generic thing over here. Okay, so we are going to construct our home. Okay, so you need to construct your home. You have the site. Okay, you have the site. What is the requirement? No? Requirement సో ఇల్లు కట్టాలి వాట్ ఈస్ ద రిక్వైర్మెంట్ సైట్ ఆల్రెడీ విల్ బి దేర్ ఓకే సైట్ విల్ బి దేర్ ద మెటీరియల్ ఇస్ ద రిక్వైర్మెంట్ సో యూ హ్యావ్ గ్యాదర్ ద రిక్వైర్మెంట్ లైక్ ఓకే మెటీరియల్ ఏమేమి కావాలి నీకు రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ ఏంటి సో దేర్ షుడ్ బి ద శాండ్ దేర్ షుడ్ బి ద సిమెంట్ దేర్ షుడ్ బి ద మెటల్ దేర్ షుడ్ బి ద బ్రిక్ ఓకే సో లైక్ దట్ ద రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఆల్ యూ హ్యావ్ బీన్ కలెక్టెడ్ నౌ అప్ టు నౌ యూ హ్యావ్ బీన్ కలెక్టెడ్ ద రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ సో నౌ you are going for the construction there will be a plan right So how many days it will take to complete this basement? How many days it is required to construct this one pillars? Okay, for walls, how much time you can take? For the flooring, how much time you can take? For the plastering, how much time you can take? So these and all things you need to plan. Okay, so there will be a plan, right? Like the similar way, so there will be a plan for our testing as well. Okay, so when I can start the testing, so how I can do the testing. So these and all things I need to include in a paper. Okay, include in a document. So that is called, I can call that as a blueprint, and that blueprint we will call as a test plan. Okay, there will be a plan for each and everything, whatever the activity you are doing here. Okay, so there is a test plan here. You can see next one, test plan. Okay, so what is a test plan? So test plan is a high level document. Okay, so high level document, so that can be prepared by your lead or your manager. I will tell you how you can prepare and all. Okay, but in the real time, the people who ever having the more experience, like 6 years, 4 years, okay, more than 5 years, they can get a chance to work on the test plan. So nowadays the people, they are giving a chance to work with the, work for the people who ever having 4 years experience also, they are getting a chance to prepare the test plan and all. I'll show you how you can prepare the test plan, how it will look like, what and all things will be there. So each and everything I will show you. Okay, so let me open the test plan. Okay, here we have, so this is the test plan. Let me go with full screen mode. Are you able to see? Can someone please confirm? Are you able to see the test plan?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is the test plan, and here you can see I have given my application name. Okay, my application is Nexo TMS performance test approach. Test approach or test plan, both are same. You no need to worry about that. Okay. So original date when I have been prepared the report. ఎప్పుడు ప్రిపేర్ చేశాను, వాట్ ఈస్ ద డాక్యుమెంట్ వర్షన్ ఫర్ ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ డాక్యుమెంట్ వాట్ ఎవర్ యు ఆర్ ప్రిపేరింగ్ ఇన్ ద రియల్ టైమ్, there will be a version number like 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, like that. Let us assume you are preparing the first document related to this approach, okay, or test plan. You can give like 1.0. Okay, so I have prepared several test plans, therefore I have given the version as 1.7. Okay, but the first time you are preparing means the count, it will start from 1. Okay, you can give like 1.0. Okay, so last revision date. So once you have been prepared this approach document or test plan document, so you need to get approved this from your high authority people. So therefore, so eppudu revise chesaru, when your high authorities, they have revised your document and all, so those information we need to provide over here. Okay, so which application you are testing, so each and every application, so they will there is a release will be there. ఏ మంత్లో రిలీజ్ చేశారు, either it is September, October, November, December, so when, so that release month you need to include over here. Okay, so what is your project title? So this is my project title. Okay, what is the build version? For each and every application there will be a version. So we are using WhatsApp, we are using Facebook and all. See, go to your WhatsApp and check about, so there you can see the version number. Okay, so we are using the mobiles, right? Android application we are using, Android software we are using. So you can get the new version update, new version will be there, new version update it will come. Okay, vastundi, so then you can update to the newer version. So like that, so each and every application whatever you are working on, so there is a unique version will be there. Okay, so my application version number is 3.1. so you can mention over here. Application name, so project name, application name, both I think almost same, you can include the same thing over here. Performance engineer, who is preparing this test approach? Let us assume myself I am preparing, so therefore I can write over here Madhusudan Reddy, so I can write my name over here. Okay, so document reviewers, so once you have been prepared the report, you need to send this document for the review. Okay, your manager you can send, or your lead you can send. So therefore you need to mention your manager names over here. So document reviews దగ్గర ఇక్కడ ఏం చేయాలి, so you need to mention the names. Okay, email address also you need to mention over here, company email address we can mention. Security warning you can leave it, that is not required. Table of contents, okay, what and all things will be there in that in this particular document, right? So whenever you are studying any book and all, so in the first page there will be index, right? Like the similar way, like table of contents will be there. Okay, like the similar way, so I have prepared one document over here, So what and all things will be there? So those and all I have been included under the table of contents over here. సో ఏ పేజ్లో ఏముంది సింపుల్గా చెప్పాలంటే సో ఏ పేజ్లో ఏముంది అనే దాన్ని మనం సో ఇక్కడ టేబుల్ ఆఫ్ కంటెంట్స్లో పెడుతున్నాం. ఓకే, సో ఇంట్రడక్షన్, పర్పస్, ఓవర్ యూ నీడ్ టు రిమెంబర్ సో దీస్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ అండ్ ఆల్. సో వాట్ అండ్ ఆల్ థింగ్స్, వాట్ ఈస్ ద పర్పస్ ఆఫ్ ద టెస్ట్, what is the goal, what is the overview, okay, what is the assumption, what is the risk. So these are all things you need to remember, it headings anni. Okay, so you leave it that test approach, approval, authorization. You can see here test approach, approval, authorization. To whom and all you got the approval. So name, you can give the name like you are the performance tester, assume I am your lead, so you can write my name here. So Madhu, project role lead, okay, approval, so approved. Okay, so then you can mention your manager name, something Mahesh, okay, project role, so like manager, okay, approved. So like that you can give the information over here in this table. Okay, so whenever it is approved, so then only we can give the names over here, if not we cannot give. Next, see introduction, purpose. What is the purpose of this document? Okay, I am preparing the test approach document or test plan document. What is the approach, what is the purpose? Okay, the purpose of the document is, you can see here, the purpose of the document is to provide a reference in future. Okay, so it is a document which is prepared for the future reference for all resources working on the performance testing process. Okay, so each and every guy, see, please go on the mute, the people whoever, okay, so do not have the doubt and all, please go on the mute. Yeah, so this is the future purpose, we are preparing the document. So this will give the idea on the execution, how I have done the execution, how I have prepared the report, okay, what and all tools I have been used and all. So those information will be there in the this document, approach document. That is my purpose. ఎందుకు, సో ఎవడైతే పర్ఫార్మెన్స్ టెస్టింగ్ చేయాలనుకుంటున్నాడో సో వాటన్నిటికీ ఐ నీడ్ టు ప్రొవైడ్ సమ్ రెఫరెన్స్ టు దెమ్. ఓకే, సో దేర్ ఫోర్ ఐ వాంట్ టు ప్రిపేర్ దిస్ అప్రోచ్ డాక్యుమెంట్. సో వాట్ ఈస్ ద పర్పస్? Okay, you can see here performance testing document, it will be included like what is the scope of the project, what is the objective, okay, what is the goal. Okay, so those and all things we are going to include in the this test approach document. So what is your goal? So we need to deliver a defect free project, defect free product. Okay, defects ఏం ఉండకూడదు, ఇష్యూస్ ఉండకూడదు. సో వీ నీడ్ టు టెస్ట్ ద అప్లికేషన్ థరోలీ. ఓకే, సో థరోలీ అంటే ఏమేం చేయాలి. సో దోస్ గోల్స్ అండ్ ఆల్ ఐ హ్యావ్ బీన్ ఇంక్లూడెడ్ ఓవర్ హియర్. ఓకే, సో అబ్రివియేషన్స్ అనౌన్సేషన్, వాట్ ఎవర్ ద షార్ట్ టర్మ్ యు ఆర్ యూజింగ్. పర్ఫ్ మీన్స్ పర్ఫ్ అంటే పర్ఫార్మెన్స్, ప్రాడ్ అంటే ప్రొడక్షన్, సో టీపీటీ మీన్స్ so technical performance team. So like that, so we have been given some short forms here. Okay, so in the document somewhere else I have been used like perf. So what is the meaning of this perf? So what it mean? Performance. So I have been mentioned like prod. So what it mean? Production. Okay, so like that the abbreviations I have been included here under this section. Okay, this is not that much important, you can ignore it. Okay, so next, so assumptions, what and all assumptions will be there. So whenever you are going to do the performance testing and all, always you do have some assumptions will be there. Okay, so what and all those assumptions. So these and all are those assumptions. This is like copy based job. So whatever the application it may be, wherever you are working, the assumption should be same. Okay, there is no difference in assumptions and all. Okay, you can use the same assumptions. Okay, so you no need to worry about this. This is like copy paste job, you can ignore it. So what is the risks? Okay, risk em undachu. So this is the like risk anangane, so this is the planned one, that's all. Okay, I can say like this is the planned one. If the risk arise, what you can do. Okay, so that you have been, I have been included under the risk, you no need to worry about that. This is also like copy paste job, you can ignore it. Okay, next, where we are, yeah, so next performance estimated timelines, you can see here. This is very important. Okay, this section is very important. Performance estimated timelines, so you can see here. Okay, requirement gathering, how many days you can take to complete it. Okay, so you need to give the start time and end time. This is very important. So whenever you got a chance to work tomorrow, okay, in any organization, So the people, they will ask you to give the estimations. So performance testing estimations, please share the estimations. So the people, they may afraid. So what is the estimation? The people, they are asking estimations and all. I'm not aware how I can do like that. Okay, estimation is nothing but, see here in the performance testing life cycle, what and all things will be there. So requirement gathering, how many days you want. Test plan preparation, how many days you want. Okay, so scripting, how many days you want. Execution, how many days you want. Analysis, how many days you want. So like that, so we need to include each and everything here in the estimations. See, requirement gathering, I have taken 1 day. So scripting and validation, I have taken 1 day. Execution, I have taken 2 days. Okay, analysis and recommendation, I have taken 3 days. See, so each and every phase, how many days I can take. So that you need to give over here under the estimations. This is very, very important area. So whenever you are working like a solo, okay, individual, okay, so at that time, so the people, your manager will ask you to prepare the performance estimations. At the time, you need to prepare the estimations like this. Okay, so I will share this document with you. Okay, keep this with you. This is very, very useful to you in the future. Okay, so tomorrow they will ask you to prepare the test plan. Okay, then how you can prepare the test plan? You can keep this test plan document with you, and whatever the headings will be there, simply follow the same headings and prepare the test plan. Okay, so this is the test plan which I have used for my application. Okay, for my application I have prepared this test plan. Okay, I'll give the same to you in WhatsApp group. Download it and keep with you. Okay, don't forget this. This is very, very useful document in your future. Again, I am saying. Okay, so estimation, this is the way how you can prepare. So for the requirement, how many days it require. Okay, scripting, how many days it require. Execution, how many days it will take. Analysis, how many days it will take. So like that, so each and every phase, okay, each and everything, okay, how much you are going to how many days you are going to spend on that. So those details you need to estimate and you need to provide over here. Okay, so next. So from the beginning we are telling about SLA and all. Okay, what is that SLA? So see, this is the SLA. See, this is the SLA. So this is assume, this is launch. Okay, so first one is launch, second one is the login. Okay, third one is something sign out like that. So assume. Okay, so assume. See, first API or first transaction, you can see greater than 1 second. Threshold is greater than 1 second. Threshold means maximum. Okay, దాని మించి పోకూడదు. So up to 1 second you can consider. Okay, application parameter update, you can see threshold point is greater than 1 second. అంటే 1 second కన్నా ఎక్కువ పోకూడదు. So like that for each and every transaction, so they have given the SLA threshold point they have given. Okay, so we need to take this as a SLA and we need to work towards to achieve it. Okay, this is the SLA. Launch 1 second, login 1 second, purchasing 1 second. Okay, clicking on the mobile 1 second, sign out 1 second. So like that the transaction names will be there. So by seeing this transaction name, don't be afraid and all. Okay, ఇంటిది ఏదేదో ఉంది, acquirer parameter update అంటాడు, application parameter. Don't ignore, don't afraid by seeing these names and all. You can consider like this is the launch, this is the login, log out, like that. So those and all are the transaction names, that's all. Okay, so yeah, so maximum threshold also I have given here. Okay, so don't exceed greater than 1 second, don't exceed greater than 1 second. This is the SLA given by your client. So that also you have been included in the test plan. Okay, so next. You can see here performance testing strategy approach. What is test approach? So test approach means what and all things you can do as part of performance testing. You are a performance tester, what you can do. Okay, first I can gather the requirement gathering. So I can prepare the test plan. Okay, I can prepare the scripting, I can do the execution, I can do the analysis, I can prepare the report. So whatever you are doing here, so those things and all you can include under the test approach. If you want, I can read out. See, performance team, we will identify the NFR requirement gathering with the help of business analyst or dev architecture, system architecture, development team. Performance team need to collect all the business scenarios from the team. Performance team need to understand the flow of the application, okay, with the help of dev team. I told you, right? So we need to go through the application manually. So that is the understanding the flow of application. Okay, according to the flow, okay, performance team need to start the scripting using JMeter tool. Performance testing team should prepare the test data, need to do the parameterization, correlation. Okay, those and all are scripting activities. So performance team, how they can execute the testing and all. So those things and all we have been included under the test approach. So ఎలా చేయగలుగుతావు, how you are going to do the performance testing, that will comes under the test approach. Okay, in the interview the people they will ask you what is your approach. Okay, how you can prepare the test approach. Okay, in the test approach what and all things you can include. So the question, whatever the question, the answer is same answer you can explain. Okay, so this is the answer you can explain. I can gather the requirement. So once I have been gather the requirement, what I can do, I can prepare the script using JMeter tool. I can prepare the test data. I can do some enhancements and all. After completing the enhancements and all, I can go with the executions. So this is the way how you can explain in the interview. Okay. So in the coming days, coming days you can get it. Okay. So types of testings. Okay. So ఇందాక నేను చెప్పాను types of testings will be there. Okay. So as part of requirement gathering, you have been received like how many types of testings we need to perform. So those testings you need to include over here. See, type of testing, we are going to execute only load test only here. So therefore I have mentioned I am going to execute only load test. Okay, so that I have been mentioned in the where in the test plan. Okay, so performance testing goals, what and all goals will be there. Okay, so what and all goals will be there, those goals and all I have been mentioned over here. Okay, yeah, so I have been mentioned over here performance testing goals. So what is my goal, so everything will be there here. I think the goals is same for all the applications, there is no much difference between the goals and all. So this is like copy paste. Okay, so if you have the any architecture diagram and all, so you can take it and you can paste your architecture diagrams under this area. So JMeter diagram you can paste over here, application architecture also you can paste over here. Who can give the architecture diagram? Okay, so you can reach out to the dev team, development team will be there, or you can reach out to your manager and ask him to provide the architecture. Okay, he will provide the architecture diagram and you can include the diagram over here. Okay, so API design principle, I am working on the APIs, so therefore what is the principle I am using, so ఏ ప్రాసెస్ నేను ఫాలో అవుతాను. సో దోస్ థింగ్స్ ఐ హ్యావ్ బీన్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్డ్ ఓవర్ హియర్. సో 200 అంటే ఏంటి, 400 అంటే ఏంటి, గోయింగ్ ఫార్వర్డ్ యూ విల్ కమ్ టు నో అబౌట్ ద స్టేటస్ కోడ్స్ అండ్ ఆల్. ఓకే, సో కమింగ్ టు పర్ఫార్మెన్స్ టెస్టింగ్ సినారియోస్. సో ఐ టోల్డ్ యూ CBTs, critical business transactions అని చెప్పాను. ఓకే, so whatever the CBTs will be there, so we need to include those CBTs in the test approach document, in the test plan document. Okay, so CBTs మనం గ్యాదర్ చేసుకుంటాం కదా, as part of requirement you can gather the requirements, right? So you can gather the requirements like these and all other requirements. Okay, so these and all things what we need to do, so we need to include the test approach. CBTs అన్నాం. CBT అంటే ఏంటి, so launch, login, logout, so that is one CBT. So you asked what you can do, you can include that information in the test plan. So here you can include under the in scope, you can include the the scenarios. Okay, you can ignore this one, as of now you cannot understand this one. 8.1 ఇదేంటి, API ఏంటి, you cannot understand this. So as of now you can skip this 8.1. Okay, so going forward you will come to know about that 8.1 and all. Okay, so performance testing scenarios, under the scenarios you can see here in scope, under the in scope APIs we need to provide the critical business transactions. So మనం ఏమేం టెస్ట్ చేస్తున్నాము, so those things we need to include under in scope. Launch I am going to test, login I am going to test, purchase the product I am going to test, sign out I am going to test. So these many things we need to include under the in scope. Okay, so these are the junk. Okay, so now మీకు అర్థం కాదు, so going forward you will come to know about this, so I am ignoring it. Okay, so yeah, so next one is so out of the scope, in scope, out of the scope will be there. So let me show you. So in scope ante what and all things you are testing. Okay, what and all transactions you are testing comes under the in scope. So out of the scope means whatever the transactions you are not testing now, so those comes under the out of the scope. Okay, so in scope ante whatever the transactions you have been considered for testing. Out of the scope ante whatever the transactions you have not considered for the testing. Okay, so in real time few scenarios we cannot test. Okay, few scenarios only we can test. So let us assume whatever the scenario you are testing you can include under the in scope, whatever the scenario you are not testing you can include under the out of the scope. Okay, so scripting validation, how you are executing your script. So I am going to execute my script from non-GI mode, so that I have been included over here. So in non-GI mode and enti, don't be panic. So going forward you will come to know about that non-GI mode and all. So next one is workload model. You can skip it. Okay, so you cannot understand this. Coming to tools, what tools you are using? Okay, so tools we need to include over here. So what and of types of tools you are using? Okay, I am using JMeter, I am using Grafana, I am using AppDynamics. So those tools and all, so we can include in the we can include in the test plan. Okay, so test plan లో మనం include చేయాలి. సో ఏమేం టూల్స్ వాడతాను నేను, ఓకే, సో ఏమేం టూల్స్ వాడతాను, దోస్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఐ నీడ్ టు ఇంక్లూడ్ ఇన్ ద where in the test plan. And what is the environment? So environment means your server details. Okay, here you can see performance environment. So for each and every environment, so there will be a details like, so what is your RAM, what is your server name, what is the IP, how many cores of system you are using, what is the processor. So those and all are the information. This is very very important. Okay, in the interview the people they will ask you like they want to test you whether you are real time guy or not. Okay, so directly they will ask you what is your server configuration. Okay, so which server you are using, so what is your server configuration, like that they will ask you. Why? Because so they want to test whether you are the real time guy or not. Okay, so real time, I mean configuration anangane you can explain like, my server RAM is 16 GB RAM, 4 core server we are using, and our processor is Intel i7. Okay, Intel Core i7 we are using, and we are using Tomcat server. Okay, Tomcat we are using. So like that you can tell. Coming to database, okay, so this is the application server and this is the database server. So database server also you can give the same feed you can give whatever you have been explained so far. The same thing you can give, same configuration you can tell. Okay, so the people like the people who are putting the fake and all they are much not aware about this configuration and all. So therefore, so the interviewer they are going to test about your genuinity, so whether you are genuine or not. So they will check by throwing one stone over this. Okay, so what is your system configuration, what is your mission server configuration? Okay, so can you please tell me, like that they will ask you. At the time explain about this RAM cores, number of cores of the mission, and the processor. These three you can explain. This is also very very important, keep it in your mind. Okay, so which DB you are using, you can see here PostgreSQL. Okay, I am using, or else you can tell like Oracle DB. So anything is fine. Okay, so we need to mention, okay, so we need to mention, okay, so which environment you are using, what is your server details also in the where in the test plan. Okay, that is also important. So next one, okay, so yeah, what and all metrics you are going to monitor. So మనం చెప్పాము as part of requirement I am going to monitor CPU, memory, disk and all. So those things and all we need to include under the counters. Okay, I will tell you how you can monitor, what and all counters you can monitor, from where you can fetch the data. These and all like next level questions. Okay, so first ఏమేమి ఉంటాయి తెలుసుకోండి, తర్వాత ఎలా చేయాలి అనేది. సో గోయింగ్ ఫార్వర్డ్ యూ విల్ కమ్ టు నో అబౌట్ దట్. ఓకే, కమ్యూనికేషన్ అండ్ రిపోర్టింగ్, డైలీ హౌ యు ఆర్ కమ్యూనికేటింగ్ విత్ యువర్ టీమ్. ఓకే, మీ టీంతో మీరు ఎలా కమ్యూనికేట్ అవుతున్నారు, ఓరల్లీ యు ఆర్ కమ్యూనికేటింగ్ త్రూ యూజింగ్ ఎనీ ఛానల్ లైక్ స్కైపా, లేకపోతే వాట్సాప్పా, లేకపోతే విచ్ ఛానల్ యు ఆర్ యూజింగ్ టు కమ్యూనికేట్. ఓకే, ఏదర్ యు ఆర్ యూజింగ్ టీమ్స్, సో ఎలా వాడుతున్నావు, డైలీ బేసిసా లేకపోతే ఓకే సో వీక్లీ బేసిసా, వాట్, సో దట్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ కెన్ బి అప్డేటెడ్ ఓవర్ హియర్. ఓకే, సో ఇది చాలా కంపెనీస్లో ఉండదు. సో ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ యూ కెన్ ఇంక్లూడ్ దిస్, ఆర్ ఎల్స్ యూ కెన్ ఇగ్నోర్ ఇట్. సో నో ప్రాబ్లం. ఓకే, so status and reporting, where you are reporting your information and all. Okay, so daily basis we need to log our effort and all, so that you are where you are doing that and all. So there is a tool for called Jira. So there we need to log our effort and all daily, whatever you are doing. So you need to log your effort in Jira. Okay, so that also we have been included over here. This is also not required, you can ignore it. Okay, so what is point of contact? Point of contacts will be there. So those point of contact details we need to include over here. Okay, why? Because so tomorrow you are not there in that particular project. Okay, so you have been moved to some other project, or you have been shifted to some other company. So then, so who and all are the contact persons? So I need to reach out to the development team. Who is the contact person? So what is the email ID? What is the phone number? Okay, I want to reach out manual tester. Okay, so who is the contact person? What is his details? I want to reach out to DB team. What is the contact information? So those information we need to include over here. Let us assume I am the developer. You can mention under the development team, you can mention my name like Madhu and email ID like mmsreddy@gmail.com and call on work. So my phone number you can include over here. So like that we can include the information here in this point of contact. So that's all. So this is the way how you can prepare the test plan and how the test plan it will look like. Okay, the test plan document it may vary. Okay, organization to organization it may vary, but same information will be there in the template. Okay, so same information ఉంటుంది. Okay, if not so I'll share this document with you. You can use this document and according to this format you can prepare the report. You can prepare the what test plan and you can share the test plan with your client. Okay, and also your manager as well. Okay, so this is a test plan document. Maximum your manager, your lead, they will prepare this test plan document. Okay, nowadays the people they are giving to work on the test plan as well. Okay, that's why I'm telling you okay about this test plan and all. This is the high level document. Okay, so just know the things ఏమేమి హెడ్డింగ్స్ ఉన్నాయి ఏంటి ఒకసారి చదువుకోండి. దట్స్ ఆల్. ఓకే, సో వాట్ యూ నీడ్ టు డూ, వాట్ ఈస్ ద పర్పస్, వాట్ ఈస్ ద గోల్, జస్ట్ గో త్రూ దిస్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ వాట్ ఎవర్ విల్ బి దేర్. దట్స్ ఆల్. సో దట్ విల్ గివ్ యూ ద okay, so that will give you the better understandability. Okay, so if you are having any doubt you can reach out me, I will tell you. Okay, so yeah, so I am stopping for the day here. So the remaining thing and all, so tomorrow we will discuss. So anything from your end regarding okay so far you can explain. Sorry, you can ask, not explain. Okay, so you can ask the things.